So we've covered the details of the quote line editor screen. The next item we are going to cover is the customization of this particular screen. Okay, so on this top section here, if you recall, this is information that's feeding from the quote. This is the quote header. So there may be a situation where the requirement is, well, we don't need to have the sales reps add an additional discount and have that additional discount span across the entire quote, right? So if that is the requirement, then we want to remove this field that's defaulted by Salesforce. Okay, and I'm going to show you how to do that. And then also, there may be a requirement where you may need to add a field, maybe a custom field that you need to have displayed on this particular screen. So, for example, let's say if you're selling these bento boxes and the sales reps are selling these bento boxes and they sell to a variety of different regions throughout the country, they may need to select what region the customer is in. So that may be an important driver to pricing or product logic. But if that is the case, you would need to add this particular field to the quote header field set. And so in order to do that, you will go to Setup. Then you'll go to Object Manager. And then, like I said, those fields at the top, they are on the quote object. And you'll click on the quote. Remember, this is our correct object. It's SBQQ underscore quote. And this is the custom object that comes with the package. So make sure you're selecting the right quote object. And then since this is a fill set, you'll just go to fill set. The fill set that you need to edit is the line editor, because again, that's the quote line editor screen that we're on. So you'll click on that. Okay. And as you can see, we have the additional discount. We can just drag it here. And so just leaving the start and end date and the subscription term and click on save. All right. So heading back to the quote, I'm going to refresh. And as you can see, that particular field is gone as well. So there may also be another requirement that you need to have the sales reps maybe enter additional information regarding the quote line, okay, regarding the products that they add to this quote. You may need to have them input additional information on that object as well, because this is where these fields live today on the quote line object. So instead of going to the quote object, we're going to go to the quote line object. Again, this is just verifying this is the right object. So we'll go ahead and click on quote line, clicking on the fill set. And again, it is the quote line editor. Okay. So sometimes what I've seen is they may, instead of having to have the start and end date at the quote screen, the business, their requirement might have to be at the product level. The product has to have its own separate start and end date. So we might want to just add start and end date. On the quote line and then just click save. So I'm just going to refresh my screen. And so now you see the start and end date on the quote line object here on this fill set. And so obviously if you don't need to capture that information at the quote level, then you would remove it from here. So the next item that you can customize is the fields that are in this quote line drawer. So again, the quote line drawer is where you can store additional information on this particular quote line without having to add it to this lengthy field set. So you will go back to the same object. It's on the quote line. The quote line drawer fields are on the quote line. But instead of selecting the line editor, the fields that are on the line field set, you'll go to the standard line drawer. Okay. These are all of the fields that are currently in the drawer today. Okay. So if you know you don't need the description term, there may be no partner discount. And let's say you might want to remove your pricing method. None of this information might be important to the sales rep. So maybe the markup is not used. So you would just click on save. And as you can see, like the partner discount and all those fields are now gone. So that summarized how to swap out fields, add new fields to field set for the quote header section, and then also the quote line field set.